On the eve of the Sydney Sevens, I thought it pretty important to sit down with arguably the best Sevens player Australia's ever had. Now obviously you're in a new role, coaching the girls, stepped away from rugby, but before we get onto that, I think maybe let's go through your career, what you've achieved and how those experiences have shaped you into the coach that you are today. So, mate, a bit of a background. Born in Queensland, 83.
Yes.
So rugby, why did we go there? What was the family background? What was the upbringing?
Mum and Dad were in the army. Moved around a little bit. Started off in Brisbane when I was born. Went to Wagga. Sister was born in Wagga. Moved back to Brizzy. Started off as a youngster playing rugby league in Ipswich. Went to Elfie Langer's club to start with.
Yeah.
Hated the Broncos. Went to Bouvau Swifts. They still had the Walters boys down there. Didn't really like the Broncos still. And ended up, when I got to high school, started in Union.
And then Western Force was your first professional gig. Was that a hard transition? I mean, you moved so much as a kid. Was it an easy thing to do, especially with all the superstars, Drew Mitchell, Matt
Nah, I went over there. I didn't get a contract to go over there. I just quit my job, moved over there, played a bit of club football and thought I'll just give it a go, see if I can get in the academy. And it kind of worked out. Lucky for me, yeah. And no, it was a good move.
And so from the Force to the Brumbies, and then back to the Force again, wasn't it?
Yep.
Now, do you feel like you kind of achieved everything you wanted to achieve in 15s?
Yeah, I wasn't a great player. I was probably an average sort of player, but I tried pretty hard. My effort was there, so yeah, I probably went further than I thought I would, to be honest. And, even if I got one game, I would have been happy with that. So yeah, I think so.
Now, I've got your first cap in the Sevens jersey as 2010. You could say that you were probably one of the first players to make Sevens a career sport. I mean, when you first started playing, it was still a bit haphazard. It wasn't as serious as it probably was. It was before that Olympic career. Do you see a lot of changes in that time compared to the game that's played today?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember even when I was at the Force, a lot of the fringe players would be saying, oh, I've got to go to Sevens for a week camp and then off and play. They weren't probably into it, whereas now it's turned into a fully professional program. And I think when I came back, I started in 2010, yeah, 2009, 10, and I had the time of my life. And so I went into Super Rugby, went into that, and then went to Super Rugby again. And I thought I'd finish off. I would want to do it playing Sevens because that's where I had the most fun and give back to them a bit more. And from that time to now, it's gone from being amateur sort of into a fully professional program. And I love the transition, and I've been lucky enough to be from when it was like that to a professional program now.
Now, let's chat about the end briefly. Obviously that was a pretty difficult time of your life. Run us through it quickly, give us a brief statement on it.
Yeah, listen, I didn't expect it. It's something that I just got to deal with now. And I'm not the only one, there's a lot of players that the same thing sort of happens as their careers ended abruptly. Like there's even young blokes, I was saying today to a couple of guys, that there's 18-year-olds that are out there and something really bad happens and their career's over. But there's more to life than playing rugby. So.
Was it an easy decision to stop? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
It's a big thing at the moment in the media, guys transitioning and things like that. A part of me thinks for a player of your stature, it probably would have been nice to go out in a big swan song, a big deal made about it. But as you say, it was kind of torn away from you. Do you ever still find yourself thinking back, like what could have been and things like that?
No, I try not to think of it. I think it just happens, that's the reality of it. You just got to deal with it and move on. I'll get a chance in a career after life in something that I can start and hopefully go on and have a good life in something else.
Well, let's talk about that something else now. Big change. I mean, many people might think it's not going from playing rugby to coaching rugby, but I fully understand that it is. How are you dealing with that transition?
No, it's been quite good. I've been lucky enough to have Johnny as sort of a mentor and a guy I'm working under. I played under Johnny, so it's kind of like an easy decision too to come and work under him. He was such a good coach to play for. I'd drop everything to go and play for him, so when the chance came up to work underneath him, I jumped at it. He's made it easy, that's for sure. He hasn't put too much work on me or too much stress. He's kind of baby steps and give me a little bit there, a little bit there, here. So no, it's been quite an easy transition in those terms.
Now you could argue that yes, you've got so much experience in the game and that's your best asset as a coach, but is there maybe one or two other things that people might not know about you that probably make you the coach that I know you are?
Jesus, that's a tough question that people don't know about me. I'm pretty open. I say it how it is. I don't really hold things back. So if it needs to be said, I say it and have that sort of conversation. Sometimes it's hard to take, but I think, yeah, that's something different, I guess, that I've kind of taken into coaching, where I've got to learn when to do it now, to oppose, especially working with young girls.
I was about to say girls compared to guys. How does that
yeah,
work?
You can't really just go out and use a few F words and C words to kind of get your point across. You kind of got to be a bit articulate about it, which is, I'm learning that very quickly.
Coming fourth at the moment after what we can agree was probably a pretty disappointing Glendale. Started strong but didn't find the finish there. Now, for a nation that's used to watching our girls win and win comfortably and not getting a point scored against them last Sydney Sevens, is it a transitioning phase from Walshy to John and you, or is the competition catching up to the standard of our girls? What's the defining factor at the moment?
Mate, it's a mixture of everything. I mean, a big change like that, new staff, even having a group of young kids coming through now between the ages of 17 and 19. Some of the girls maybe getting older, and I think the main one you touched on there was the competition's getting closer. I mean, you're getting USA now with a massive amount of numbers of women and men wanting to play rugby sevens. It's probably their most dominant rugby game over there. It was only a matter of time, but it's the way we got to adjust. We've got to adjust quickly. We're not always going to have the Emily Cherries and the Charlotte Caslicks around. We've got to bleed those young girls, and it's going to be a time where they have to step up.